Howdy babes, this evening I am going to decorate my nostalgia tree. I have my Gothmas tree, which I always do spooky every year to go with my spooky in between Halloween and Christmas time. That's what I call Gothmas. And every year I like to get out ornaments that I've had every year since I was a kid. So today I'm going to be sharing those with you. I covered up the cat tree with, oh, watch out Rudolph, with Miss Piggy. If any of you had her as a kid, she was, I think, from McDonald's, yes, from McDonald's in 1988. And there was also a Fozzie and a Kermit that were also festively dressed, but I had to have Miss Piggy because she was my favorite. I put on some nails for y'all. They are Halloween nails. See if you can, oh wait, wrong way. They are Halloween nails, but I wanted press-on nails because I didn't want to commit to a manicure right now. Sorry for the audio quality. I did have my mic, but unfortunately my mic decided that it didn't want to be charged. So this is the audio quality for today. So without further ado, let's get into decorating my tree. Okay, so first up is a newer ornament. This is Tina Belcher from Bob's Burgers. The great thing about Tina is she loves butts, and I do too. So next, I have these little Santas. These two are newer, but I also, well, I'll find them in a minute, but I have older ones too. And they were from a kid in school. Her grandma made them for us in 2nd grade. And what's cool about these is you can put candy inside his mouth. This one's bigger, so you can put something bigger in there, but the other ones, you can only really get a Hershey Kiss in there, but they're still cool. And they're handmade. Handmade ornaments are always good. Okay, here's another one from McDonald's. And if any of you had him, I think he had a special name. If any of you remember his name, put it down in the comments. I think it was like Charlie Moose or something. I don't know if that's right, but this guy, he's got a little fuzzy tail. There's his little McDonald's tag. All right, so he's pretty light, even though he looks like he'd be heavy. This, let's see, Happy Holidays, 1987. Do you know what it is? It's Jack. And I also have Gus. I like to put Gus a little lower than Jack because I think their dynamic is a little dom sub, if you know what I mean. Okay, here comes another pair. These two are like two of my like top 10 favorite ornaments like of all time. For Bernard. Here's the box for Bianca. Here's Bernard. I hope everything's focusing. Maybe not. Bernard and Bianca. We go. Then they can keep each other company. So this ornament came in this box. And this one's Oscar the Grouch, another one from the 80s. I don't think there's a date on it though. And the side looks like this. Here's Oscar. And I had this one ever since I was little, but not exactly this very one, because mine, I don't know where it went. It's somewhere in New York still. So this is one I got off of eBay, and it came with Cookie Monster, who I didn't have as a kid, but I still put him on the tree. I generally put him more towards the back since he doesn't really have any sentimental value, but he might mean something to someone else that might come over and see him and might make them feel warm and cozy, so I still put him on. Here's a little Pooh Bear ornament that I believe came from a craft show when I was younger. By the way, I'm sure many of you know this already and have heard it ad nauseum, but I am from a farm country in upstate New York on the Canadian border on Lake Ontario, and my town was very small. They don't think so, but it's very small. And we used to have craft fairs at the church, I believe. If I'm wrong, if my mother's watching this, Mom, can you put in the comments like where Pooh Bear was from? But I think he was from a craft sale. Anyway, so that's Pooh Bear. And I was going to have background music, but when I watched a little bit of the test footage, it was making me crazy. I mean, I know I'm supposed to pretend like everything is like, oh, it's YouTube, it's so, what's the word, candid. Ah, bug flew at me. Okay, that was candid. But, I mean, you know, I gotta make sure things are pointing in the right direction. This ornament I made with my aunt, who sadly passed away in, I believe, 2003. But before she passed away, she brought over some craft stuff. Like, crafting was her thing. Like, she had a whole craft room. Like, that woman, like, that was her thing. And I made this when she came over. She brought, since my grandma on my mother's side lived with us, she brought over stuff for us all to make ornaments. And I still have mine, and this is it. There's probably some things that have fallen off of it over the years, but luckily it's kind of so crazy and cattywampus that you can't really tell. So growing up, across the street was my great aunt, another farm, and she used to make these. I believe she made this one. If she didn't make this one, she used to make a lot of other beaded and homemade ornaments. And again, Mother, if I'm wrong, let me know down in the comments. And so there's this. And any of these homemade beaded ones, I've tried to save as many as I could. And this one is from another craft fair, and I think maybe my mother made this. So this one I like because in I like this one because in what's the one? I like this one because of It's a Wonderful Life, where, you know, every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. So, you know, whether you believe that or not, you know, the movie. I'm back. Did you miss me? Anyway, okay, where were we? One of the beaded ones. Put that on. Whoa, got him off. So this one, I think I have part of her box still somewhere, but she is, whoa. She's the Nutcracker Barbie. And originally when I got her, it was from my Aunt Rita, who is no longer with us, unfortunately, but when she got it for me, since I was younger, I was a little bit disappointed I didn't get the actual Barbie. But when I became like a teenager, young adult, I actually was really glad that she had got me the ornament and not the actual Barbie, because that Barbie would have been like long gone by now. But I have the ornament still, and I'll probably have the ornament for a long time, since, you know, it's a collectible, a keepsake, and it's really freaking cute. And I always put the Nutcracker Barbie with, I call him my pride Nutcracker. I got him when I was maybe in like my teens-ish, and I loved his rainbow outfit. Oh, we used to go to the Nutcracker a lot when I was a kid. Well, not a lot, but like every year, every other year. And we'd go to the city, the big city, which for us was like Syracuse, which was a little less than an hour away, depending on snow. And I got this guy, and I've had him on my tree ever since. I did have like a small tree when I was a kid, so a lot of these ornaments I used to put on that. So I put him and her together because they're a theme, they're a Nutcracker theme. And I love that his sequins, although he's lost some, there's still that oil slick rainbow, so that's pretty cool. Okay, that's better. I might change them later because they are pretty close together, but I have lots of ornaments, so it's not like room and spaces are gonna be an issue. So, okay, this one is another one I'm guessing came from a craft fair at the church in town. Our town also had like a big holiday parade, and I was in at least one, maybe two of them, and it was so cold. Being on the lake, growing up on the lake, we got something called lake effect snow. And when people are like, oh, you grew up in upstate New York, must have been Buffalo, they get so much snow. And it's like, yes, they get snow, but we get just as much or even more where I grew up because we were like in the butt crack of New York. Okay, raging, I'm going on a rant. Yeah, so like right now, last week I think where I grew up got about 2 feet of snow, and okay, I'm not gonna go on a super ranty rant about snow, because living on the west coast, the southwest coast, for 20 years now. Anywho, here is a little gingerbread man, and unfortunately his little string kind of got stretched out, or like the elastic died, so I had to put one of the little hangy things on there. But otherwise he's, oh, and he lost an eye once, so I had to glue an eye back on. But he's in pretty good shape. This one I got at a craft fair because he looked like my kitty Salem, who passed away after only being a couple years old. He got hit in the street. Oh, that's so depressing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry this is depressing, but it's the truth. This is my story. This is my truth, as the kids say. And so he kind of looked like my kitty Salem, because my kitty Salem had that little white tuft right there. However, he didn't have white little boots like this, and he didn't have a little white tail. My Ulysses, aka Rudy, who's sleeping over there, he is more like that with the boots and, well, not the tail, but he's got the little boots and socks. So these are the ones I did get in 2nd grade, and these ones are getting a little crusty dusty, but that's why I got the new ones. The other ones that I showed you earlier, they were from a shop that gave profits to charities. Ooh, these are smaller, but they have the little mouths that you put the candies in. Okay, these next 3, 2 of them, I can't remember which is which, but 2 of them I've had since I was a kid, and then the 3rd one was lost, and my husband very nicely bought me a whole new set, I think it was, and that included the one that I was missing. But I don't remember which one's which. I think he's an original because he's missing his little hangy thing. And then there's the bunny. Get over there. And the bear. This one, you'll know, but it's from quarantine. And even during quarantine, I still decorated, even though I couldn't have anybody over to see my decorations. But I got this ornament, and I have a friend that absolutely loves this ornament. And it has the dumpster fire of 2020 going into the dumpster of 2021. This one's special because this one was given to me by my grandma Margie. She got it at one of the craft fairs at church, and she knew I liked the color green, and she bought it for me. So it was really cute. Unfortunately, it's lost quite a few little beads and bobs here and there, but I still put it on every year and hope that no more of it falls off. Here is another McDonald's one. This, when I used to put up my nativity scene, which was the same nativity that we had ever since I was little. It's probably even older than I am. I bet I can find parts of it right now. Oh, this one, I always thought this wise man, I always thought he looked like my Uncle Doug. Uncle Doug, if you're watching, I always thought he looked like you. Anyway, so a lot of people had this nativity scene. Is it nativity or nativity? I get so confused because I have like 3 different accents, but I used to put up the nativity scene, make a little, what do you call it? Little, not manger, nativity, I guess. I used to make the little creche. Is that the fancy word you use? I don't know. I used to make it out of like shoe boxes and whatever I had, paint it. And I put the scene inside, and on the top, I'd always put the Cabbage Patch Angel, put it on top since the angel to that had been lost for a while. And I think even before she was lost, I think I put the Cabbage Patch Angel on top. And the Cabbage Patch Angel, she is also from McDonald's in 1994. I also put her on the bottom a lot because she's fairly durable since she's plastic, and if the cats knock her off, I'm not worried about her breaking. Not sure, but pretty sure this might be another one that was from one of the town church craft fairs. It's a little panda, and I guess that's a little ball he's holding, but he's pretty old too. He's got a little schmutz on him, but he's pretty cute still, so I have to put him up because he's adorable. Now, if my mother's watching, she's probably, at least for one of these, she's gonna be like, why didn't you throw those things out? Because they're nostalgic, Ma. They're nostalgic. They're still special to me. And that would be these, she's gonna be embarrassed, these ornaments that she made years ago for a craft fair, or maybe she helped me make them, I'm not sure, or my cousins, but we used to make these ones out of pipe cleaners, like back a long time ago before, and I'll show you her more refined crafts, but we made these ones, or she made these, or somebody made these, and I think they're really cute still, especially the little Bambi with the little pine cones. He's so cute. Now the bird's seen some, he's seen some things, and I think there used to be a lot more on this, and I think it's fallen off in the years, over the years, but I'm thinking maybe these might bring back memories for other people who had crafting relatives, because the little birds and the little Bambi are very, very retro. My friend Sarah gave me this one. It was either last year or the year before, because we have an ongoing thing about the nostalgic Little Debbie's cakes. Here is a less destroyed one of my mother's crafts, and from what I remember, these were a hit that year at the church community craft fair, whatever it was called. And she made these bells and put little decoration. So she made these bells, and I believe my dad's cousin and maybe my aunt also made similar things that year. Like, you know, they're all like in the craft peerage. So I'm gonna put this on there. It still works. Oh, I got lost. Oh, sorry. My aunt in Long Island, she would send like really fancy cards a lot of times ones that you could take off a part of the card, and it was an ornament. And this one, it's lost a lot of glitter, but it's still pretty cute. And it's just a little piece of like cardstock paper. And it says, wishing you a happy Christmas and a wonderful new year ahead. Love, Aunt Jeannie and Uncle Gary. P.S. Remember my tabletop purse holder on the cruise? I do. I forgot that this said that. But now I remember when she gave us this card, she also sent me one of those tabletop purse holders. So yeah, I remember that. I totally remember that. I think that was maybe like 2001-ish. Maybe 2000. I was in my teens. Okay, this ridiculous thing. In like the 80s and 90s, they used to have candies that would have like really cute packaging. You know, there's the candy canes that were filled with, you know, M&Ms or whatever. A lot of them weren't even brand name, but I remember I just loved the packaging. And I have another one too. This one, well, these two I think were supposed to be used like legitimately as ornaments. So here's a Minnie Mouse that was from one of the candies, those like tubes of candies. And here's a little reindeer guy from one of those candies. And this one I just made myself because I thought it was a cute little Mrs. Claus. So these three were all parts of candy. Yeah, so I'm gonna put decapitated Minnie Mouse, reindeer, and Mrs. Claus on the tree. This one is very, very old. This one has red yarn on it, and any of the ornaments with red yarn, that red yarn I don't think even existed after the 80s. So this one's really old, and when I was a kid, we had a couple ornaments that were really cute cookie cutters, and not too many, I don't think. I mean, but I'm pretty sure there was more than just this one. But this one somehow ended up with my ornaments, and I'm totally okay with that because it's really cute. It's a cow. Can you tell there was a farm behind our house? But really, we didn't have that much cow stuff. You know, we tried not to be like, oh, we're the cow people with cow stuff, everything's cow. No. I mean, well, my dad in his office, but that was his job, so it's like cows equaled money, so that's what you do. Anyway, so this cute little guy still has his red yarn. So some of these have red yarn and some of them have like red, what is it, curling ribbon. And those were what I used to hang the ornaments back a bajillion years ago. I really like this one. I don't know why, but it's always like, it always brings me warm, cozy feelings when I see the little red cow. So he goes towards the front, or she, there's an udder, it's a girl, it's a heifer. And I'd like to think it's a Holstein. This cute little decoration came from my friend Amy a couple years ago. I don't know if that's doing anything when I put my hand behind it, but it's got its little Christmas pudding. So this one's cool because I can kind of just smush it in the tree wherever I need to fill in space because it's just paper. These ones I believe were made by my aunt that lived across the street, my great aunt that lived across the street. I'm not 100% sure. It could have also been my grandma Craner, I don't know. These ones, they're cross stitch. Sadly, over the years, they've kind of faded, but this one's like a little candle. And this one's a little ducky. But what's cool about these is like, I mean, how tiny are those stitches? And it's so little, like, oh, by the way, if you see red on my hands, it's not blood, it's lipstick. But yeah, to make those stitches so small and that precise, that here 40 years later, they're still intact, it's nuts. I got this one last year. It's bittersweet because I got it at Joann's last year, and we know Joann's is forever gone. It's a little sewing machine with a little Santa hat. And it's one of the like the old school pedal sewing machines. Well, they have pedals now, but like, you know, the old ones. And it's kind of nice that I have a little something that reminds me of Joann's since Joann's is gone. So this one's really heavy. So this one needs like load bearing support underneath it too. I'm not completely sure where I got them, but pretty sure these are also from the East Coast. Maybe even there used to be a place called Odds and Ends, and it might have even been from there, but I'm not entirely sure. But they're still pretty. They got their sequins on them still, and they're shiny. So I put those in. I'm gonna pause there for a minute as I put some a little bit less nostalgic ornaments on, and we will resume when I have some more things to show you. Sir, show me your face. Blep. He has the blep. Hi. Oh yeah, stretch. Oh, Blep is gone. Okay, so I'm back, and I am going to go through another box of ornaments that are again from my childhood. These ones were on our tree like every year when I was growing up, the main tree. Some of you might have had these. They are the Norman Rockwell ornaments from McDonald's. And let's see, this one is from, I think it says on the ornament. Whoa, oh geez. This one is from 1983, before I was born. But this one is Santa on a rocking horse. And we had two of these, which are two people going out to cut down a tree with a dog, and this one's from 1982. Here are a couple more that were homemade. Not entirely sure who made them. I think a few of them are from, again, my aunt across the street or the church craft fair. So there's this one. It's like a little candle. And, oh, my kitty's doing his little bunny thing. Please don't knock over the tripod, please. Okay, I think we're out of the woods. Here's one. It looks like kind of like berries. This one I always thought was really pretty too. Something about the clear red stuff growing up I always thought was pretty. And then this one used to have little beads on it. It doesn't really have too many left. But there's that one too. Bro, don't knock it over. This one, I'm still proud of this one. We used to have a thing in 4-H, and my dad was a 4-H leader for, I think his 4-H troop was called, I don't know if you call it troop, group, whatever, but it was called, I think, Future Dairymen. Future Dairymen? I don't remember. My mother just sent me an old article where he got some award for that, and yeah, Mom, let me know. It's been so long, I don't remember, but I think it's Future Dairymen. Anyway, even though I technically didn't go to the meetings that much, or hardly ever, I still was in 4-H because my dad had the group, and I was still able to do something called, you know what, I don't remember what they were called, but we had like these boxes where we'd have to sell merchandise from the boxes. They'd have like purse organizers, you know, little handy gifts kind of things. And that also included ornaments, just like all sorts of odds and ends. If you sold a certain amount, you got to have a certain amount of credit towards something in these boxes. And one year I remember I got this. It also helped that like a lot of my relatives would buy a bunch of the merchandise, so I'd be able to make, you know, my goal. But this one Looks a little dirty, but it doesn't look that dirty in person. And it's got a little carousel horse inside, and I just thought this was the prettiest thing when I was a kid. And so I love this one. I grew up with having this on the tree. I put this towards the top since it's breakable because it's glass. So it's lasted this long. So fingers crossed it lasts another 35, 30 years. These ones, I tried to find the same set on eBay, and I can find very similar sets, but not this exact one. But these are little brass ornaments, and these probably came, this and a couple other sets probably came from that same like fundraising situation with the boxes from 4-H. And these ones are brass, I think. And I think Santa's sleigh used to be right here. But Santa's sleigh's been missing for a while, I guess. And the other three are still cute. And I still like them, and they still remind me of my childhood. So I'm gonna put them on the tree. These little guys, I'm also thinking that they were from the fundraiser box from 4-H. And these guys are adorable. And there's not really any branding other than says made in Hong Kong, FHP Albany. So also from New York. I'm going to stop there with the ornaments, but a couple other nostalgic things I put up every year, or at least when I was a kid, yeah. I have this little plastic gummy bear, and this was made before the Jason Freeney one, years before, decades before the Jason Freeney one. And I got this, I think it was 1989 at Bronner's in Michigan near Frankenmuth. And I used to go up there, we used to go up there to visit family. Well, it's up to me now, it was over back then. And I also, one of my favorite things ever is this Santa nesting doll, and I believe this was also from Bronner's. And he's a nesting doll, so he keeps going and going and going until he's just this little guy. Oh, and I love him so much. So I have to put him out. So I have to put him out every year too. So that's Santa. I'm ending the video with one of my most nostalgic pieces, and this is an Avon ornament. And I did some research on it. I think it's from the 60s or the 70s, but it used to have bubble bath in it, and you can kind of smell it. Yeah, it still smells like bubble bath. And this was my Grandma Margie's, and our house was just, you know, kind of on the other side of the property of Grandma's house, our house and Grandma's house, and the barn was kind of not between, but like in that corner. And when the farm was sold and they were going through Grandma Margie's stuff, the only thing I could think of, since I was on the other side of the country and I couldn't like go through anything, the only thing I could think of, if nobody else wanted it, was this ornament. Because Christmas Eve over at Grandma Margie's was some of the best times, as long as I didn't get food poisoning. That's another story for another day. But that was like really, like, that was the first celebration of Christmas, was that on Christmas Eve. Seeing my cousins, I mean, there was silly stuff, and there was just good times, and I still have such a warm spot in my heart about Christmas Eve, and my cousin and I like running up and looking out the window, watching everybody drive up into the driveway, because a lot of times we'd help my grandma or like even help her do her tree. Anyway, so this, she would always put on what she used to call her draw, which was a drawer Drawer. See, I still have a hard time saying that because growing up, we used to call it the draw. And it was just like a little piece of furniture with a drawer in it. And at Christmas time, she'd put this on top of it. And so, like, seeing this really meant like it was the holidays. We were gonna have a good time. I was gonna see family. We were gonna have a lot of fun, goof around, whatever. So, this really means a lot to me. And yeah.